If you find that you're dying on nightmare mode in Phasmophobia a lot, this video is for you. Stay right here and I'm going to help you instantly become more successful with 5 tips that I've learned over time. But before I share those with you, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like this video, and also leave a comment down below with any questions you might have, as well as things that you would include on this list. Nightmare mode can be pretty challenging for you if you're new to the game, if you don't know some of the underlying secrets of the game, the ghosts, and the maps. Some of those things come with time, and this channel also includes a lot of good information about narrowing down specific ghosts during an investigation, as well as specific places that you can hide on every map. However, you're not going to get any money if you don't survive. And that's where I begin with this list. The number one thing that you can do to instantly improve your success on nightmare mode is have 1 to 2 escape routes planned at any given time when you're investigating the ghost room. This becomes especially important in houses like Ridgeview, Edgefield, and even Tanglewood, where there are hallways where you can pretty easily get cornered by the ghost if you don't have a plan. You can overcome these situations pretty easily by doing things like utilizing crucifixes with good placement and having incense on you as your sanity is going down. However, it's also useful to have 2 places where you could hide at any given time, or where you would run and try to loop the ghost. If you're in a situation where the ghost is in a place where it might be able to corner you, sometimes the best thing that you can do is, during the grace period, run straight into a room and close the door. It's a risky move, but it often pays off, as the ghost will often go the opposite way of a closed door. More ideally, you'll have an escape route where you can run to a hiding spot and adequately hide.
So
your escape routes are best planned when the ghost isn't very aggressive, so I recommend that you start by trying to plan this right away. Once you identify the ghost room, look around and try to identify where you might be able to go. Head down that pathway and look for a hiding spot. Just keep in mind that you've got to break line of sight twice to prevent the ghost from seeing you go into your hiding spot. Number 2 on this list is really simple, but it's something that I think that people often forget to use. And this is to cross ghosts off as you go along, that you can rule out. You do this by utilizing the hidden abilities that ghosts have to rule them out. For example, the power turns off, rule out a Jinn. The power turns on, rule out a Hantu. There are countless abilities that you can get a lot more information on throughout my channel for different things that each ghost does that you can quickly rule out ghosts. But be sure that you do it as you go along, because as the ghost gets more aggressive, you want to be able to identify 2 to 3 ghosts that you're dealing with. And if you haven't been crossing them out as you go along, you're likely to forget key information, and you're more likely to get caught up doing tests that you don't even need to be doing to figure out what kind of ghost it is that you're even dealing with. And speaking of tests, that brings me to number 3 on this list, which is do 1 test at a time. There will be times when everyone's in a mad dash where you'll be able to rule out several things happening at one time. This can actually happen especially after a hunt occurs. However, when you're taking a real strategic stab at different things, especially when 2 ghosts have similar abilities, you want to make sure that 1 test is strategically being done at a time. This is especially true when you're working with others in a co-op or the public lobbies. Oftentimes in the public lobbies, people are pretty independent-minded about how they're going about things. And so someone might be doing a test and someone else doesn't even know that that's happening. This can create a lot of chaos, but it can also actually prevent you from actually figuring out what ghosts you're even dealing with. So be sure to communicate about what test is being done, what you're looking for, and what you can look to rule out. And that brings me to my number 4 thing on my list of how you can instantly up your game and get a lot more XP and money. And it's just to simply communicate when you're in public lobbies. This means try to communicate about what pieces of equipment you're using, why you're using them at any given time, what evidences the ghost has given you, and what you're trying to rule out. This will save a lot of time, it'll save a lot of headaches, and it keeps it from getting progressively more chaotic as the ghost gets more aggressive. And trust me, when it gets more and more aggressive, it can just get purely chaotic when there's 4 people just trying to run from the ghost constantly to survive. Number 5 thing that you really need to do to master nightmare mode is to get comfortable with the ghost hunting. So much information can be drawn from the ghost's behavior while they're hunting. A lot of the ghosts, in fact, you could figure out from one hunt what they actually are without even getting any other evidence at all. This doesn't actually mean that you have to be comfortable with looping. It took me a while to get comfortable with looping, and to be completely honest, I'm not the best looper out there. But I could still usually get the ghost even when I wasn't comfortable looping by using other circumstantial evidence that I would gather during the hunt period. However, if you feel comfortable looping, even better, because you can rule out several ghosts right away and rule in the possibility of about 4 to 5 ghosts right away by getting the ghost to hunt. I've seen this happen in nightmare mode countless times where the ghost has actually refused to give any solid evidence. A hunt begins, and you instantly can almost tell what ghost you're dealing with. Or you can look for one piece of evidence and make a pretty solid decision based on that one piece of evidence of what ghost it is that you're actually dealing with. And last but not least on this list is number 6, which is master the use of the cursed possessions. Some of the cursed possessions are better than others. I think the developers have acknowledged this by the fact that in their custom difficulty, they started giving certain ones higher ratings and other ones lower ratings. However, if you know how to utilize them, you can rule out and rule in ghosts very easily. You can kind of control when the ghost is going to hunt. You can identify where the ghost is coming from, and this can help you come up with a strategic plan to figure out what ghost is the one that you're either dealing with or ones that you feel like you can finally take off your list while you're trying to figure out what you're dealing with. So there are a lot of other ins and outs of Phasmophobia, obviously, that go way beyond this list. However, I really believe that if you use these 5 things, you're much more likely to survive, you're much more likely to figure out what the ghost is, you're much more likely to level up, and you're much more likely to make money. So I hope you found these things useful, and if there's anything else that I left out, please leave them in the comments below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you again next time. Thank you so much. Bye.